One of my favorite features in Adobe Muse has to be the ability to go from Muse to Photoshop and back again. And that's called round-trip editing. And so in this movie, I'm going to show you how to round-trip edit a file from Muse into Photoshop and then back into Muse again. So in order for this to work, you have to have a placed Photoshop file in your document. And so that's what I'm going to be working with here, this gigantic picture of this guy. It's called Nashville.psd. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to open this file up inside of Adobe Photoshop. So in order to do that, I'm just going to hop over into Photoshop, and I'm going to open up Nashville.psd from my exercise files folder. And so once I have that open inside of Photoshop, what I'm going to be able to do is make any change I want to this and then have that change reflected in Muse. So first thing I'm going to do is I'm just going to add, let's say, a black and white adjustment layer to this. And once I add that black and white adjustment layer, which you can do right here, by the way, and once I add that in, I can also open up the properties panel and I can make some changes to this. So maybe I want to darken up the wood a little bit by darkening up the red, and then maybe we want to brighten up certain spots of the yellow, and maybe brighten up some of the greens in his shirt, and maybe lighten up a little bit of the blues as well. There we go. Maybe we'll deepen that a little bit, give him a little bit of contrast. There we go. So that looks pretty good. And so once I have that finished, what I'm going to do is just save it. Command or Control S on the keyboard, hit OK to the Photoshop format options, and then we're going to go back over into Muse. Once I'm back over into Muse, you're going to notice that nothing changes right off the bat. But if I go into my Assets panel, which I can find over here on the right, there is going to be a little warning icon next to Nashville.psd, indicating that this file has changed since the last time I was in Muse. Well, the easy thing to do here is just to right-click and choose Update Asset. And when I do that, Muse is going to go out and get the latest version of that file and simply replace it right there inside of my document. Anytime I need to go and make a change to that, I can go in the Assets panel and I can find the Nashville.psd file, which is located right about here. I can right-click on that and I can choose Edit Original. And so when I do that, it's going to take me back over into Photoshop. I could remove that black and white adjustment layer or simply just turn it off, save it, and go back into Muse, and those changes will be reflected when I right-click on the file and hit Update, or in this case, it just auto-updated for me just by doing that. So when I close this, now I can go back to working. So as you can see, round-trip editing from Photoshop and into Muse is a great feature. It allows you to quickly get in and out of both applications, make changes, and have them simultaneously update on both ends, which is going to save you a ton of time. And that's why I think it's actually good to bring native Photoshop files into Muse, because you have that flexibility and the ability to go back and forth at any time.